Melbourne's tram network has 24 routes. 22 of these run through the city centre, with only the 78 and the 82 being radial routes that run only in the suburbs. The 78 serves mostly as a connector between the eastern suburban routes, but the 82, however, is much more interesting. Its origins are different to all of the lines operating today, and the 82 has a unique history and a unique design that makes it, in my opinion, the most interesting tram route in Melbourne. In this video, we will analyze the 82 and what makes it distinct. Let's go. First, we need to address something. The 82 was not built all at once, but instead in many different segments over 40 years, from 1921 to 1961. The two separate halves of Route 82 were disconnected from each other until the 1954 extension connecting the 82 to the rest of the tram network. It was originally built as part of the Footscray tramways, a set of 3 tram lines that diverged from the terminus on Hopkins Street, built separately from the rest of Melbourne's network. The decision to build the Footscray tramways separate was a controversial decision by the Footscray Tramways Trust, one of the many private tramway operators in Melbourne, as they believed that connecting it to the Essendon line, now Route 59, would benefit Essendon residents more than those living in Footscray. It would take another 30 years for the line to finally be connected, but by then the Footscray tramways were operating at a significant loss, and with car ownership on the rise, the lines only lasted 7 more years. The line to Footscray we now know as the 82, however, was the only one that was kept, and still operates today. The route starts outside Footscray Station, relocated from the former Hopkins Street terminus to better connect with trains from the city. The first section of the line runs through the busy and packed Footscray Market area, along some of the narrowest streets on the tram network. Unfortunately, many of these businesses closed down after the pandemic, Footscray being one of the hardest hit areas. Nevertheless, the area is slowly bouncing back. Leaving the market, the tram turns down Droop Street, heading northwest. Many of the tram stops along this street are also bus stops for the bus routes that use this street. And then onto Ballarat Road. The Droop Street stop on Ballarat Road is often considered one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous tram stop in Melbourne, and I can definitely see why. I cannot imagine how scary it would be to get off the tram here. The tram then turns again onto Gordon Street. The original line continued further down Ballarat Road to Rosamond Road, passing the Footscray Hospital. This is where the 1921 Footscray Tramways Trust section ends, and the 1940 Maribyrnong extension begins. This extension, along with the other ones done during 1940 and 1941, was done during World War II to provide service to the various factories and defense facilities in Maribyrnong. The various factories are long gone, but the tram lines still exist today. The next section of the line, built in 1954, is very interesting. It runs along River Street and Rosamond Road, but on a light rail section to the side. I can't find much information about why this decision was made, but it was likely due to the fact that River Street was too narrow to allow for both trams and cars, and this being quite a late tram extension for Melbourne in the 1950s, car traffic was becoming a big issue, so the designers decided to put it on a separate right-of-way as there was enough space to do this at the time. This area also includes Maribyrnong College, the Maribyrnong Aquatic Centre, and Highpoint Shopping Centre, making this one of the busiest parts of the route. There's also a Bunnings, which has this massive car park attached to it, which is a real eyesore. After a short stint on Williamson's Road, the line turns down here. It always seemed weird to me that the tram went down this strange tram-only passage instead of the nearby West's Road. But the reason for this is that this actually used to be a factory siding. Instead of being built on the road, the line was built directly next to the explosives factory to get workers directly to the place they worked at in order to manufacture explosives for World War II. Usually, a line like this is short-lived, and closes down when the factory closes down. But in this case, the line could be connected to the Footscray lines, which is what happened in 1954, meaning this strange section of track could be saved and turned into a proper route. There's even a tram stop in the middle of this, which is really weird, and if you want to learn more about, you can check the video in the description below. Finally, the tram turns onto Maribyrnong Road, sharing its track with the 57. This part of the line is mostly normal, with one interesting exception. The bridge on Raleigh Road over the Maribyrnong River used to actually be trams only, with cars having their own separate bridge to the north. Pedestrians were not supposed to use this bridge, but this was rarely enforced, and school children often used it as a shortcut. This was until 1950, when a man fell into the river and drowned, leading to discussions over the safety of the bridge. This led to the decision to construct a new bridge, with construction finally finishing in 1967. After a bit longer on Maribyrnong Road, Route 57 leaves, heading down Union Road towards the city. Route 82 continues down a bit longer, passing the Craigieburn train line, however without a good connection, as the nearest station, Ascot Vale, is 400 meters away, and then turning up Ascot Vale Road to Moonee Junction, where the tram line terminates. Until 2016, the 82 actually terminated south of Moonee Junction, as there was nowhere to park the tram and change sides for the driver at the end of the line. So that's tram route 82. The 82 is used by thousands of people a day, and it's clear that this route isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But it very nearly didn't survive until the 21st century. In 1980, the controversial Moonee report recommended the closure of many tram lines, the 82 being one of them. But instead, people protested against the report, leading to the changes not being carried out. Premier Jeff Kennett proposed to close the route again in 1993, but this didn't happen. All in all, the 82 survived against all the odds, being the last surviving Footscray tramways route, narrowly avoiding closure twice. The 82 has a great history and deserves its place as the most unique tram route in Melbourne. As for the future of Route 82, it looks pretty good. The 82 is scheduled to get Melbourne's new G-Class trams when they roll out in 2025, and a project to upgrade all the stops south of Maribyrnong Road to level access has been announced by the government. You can find these posters at stops all over the route letting you know about the upgrade. And so, if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching. The support on my first video was insane. 25k views was way more than I expected for the first video on this channel. I will be away for the next 3 weeks, but after then, uploads should resume. If you enjoyed, remember to subscribe, and bye.